It's time for the Dulcify Quality Handicap now at Randwick, and as we go out to Johnny Tapp at Randwick, Tappy, Dulcify was a horse with a lot of quality, mate.
Gee, he was a great horse, Ian, no doubt about it. Dulcify had to be destroyed after breaking his pelvis in the 1979 Melbourne Cup. And just the other day I was reading an article about trainer Colin Hayes, who intends to gradually phase himself out of horse training now. And he was actually asked the question to name his saddest moment in racing, and he unhesitatingly declared that Dulcify's tragic breakdown in that Melbourne Cup was indeed his saddest. Ken, one thing's for sure, there are no Dulcifys in this race.
That's for sure, John. Yeah, I was at Flemington the day Dulcify broke down, and he certainly was affected, Colin Hayes. And he was a great horse. He won the AJC Derby here on protest from Double Century in what is one of the more controversial decisions in racing. But that's many years ago. Now it's the Dulcify handicap and the 3-year-olds of today. Number 1, Sakana, which I've tipped, is into about 15 to 4, just under 4 to 1. Brinny, about an 11 to 2 chance. Outgun, 11 to 4, out to 3 to 1. He hasn't run for 10 weeks, that's probably his problem. 7 to 1 back home. Oakwood, a Bart Cummings trained horse, stablemate of Sir Midas, a late scratching, is at 12 to 1 and seems good odds to me. Shipwreck, been very well backed in the ring, into about 11 to 2. Zephyr Crown, a 16 to 1 chance, out to 20 to 1. 20 to 1 also Flying Aces. Sir Midas, as I said, was a late scratching, a surprise late scratching. Quartet is at 20 to 1. Little Miracles at 14 to 1. Aquatic at 100 to 1. And Southern Express also at 100 to 1. 12 to run with 1 scratching. My tip, Sakana, in a pretty tricky Dulcify Quality. Here's Johnny.
OK, Ken, and they're having trouble with a filly called Southern Express, who gave trouble before she even went onto the track, and she's giving a damn sight more now that she's behind the gates. They've got an hour, however, and Johnny Marshall is about to remount. We might pick up one of the highlights, or the early highlights, at Moonee Valley in Melbourne today. Race 4 was called the Windy Hill Handicap. Let's see what blew home in that.
As they round the home turn, there's a wild charge of them. Round the turn they come, 300 metres left to go. And Piccadilly Pearl on the inside being challenged by Link the Leopard, looming up quickly with a good run. They straighten up, and Link the Leopard on the outside has moved up to hit the front from Piccadilly Pearl, is battling on well. They're clear from Windcrest, and down the outside Catesville and Carrara Lad, but it's Link the Leopard in front, drawing clear. And the Winfield Perth Cup winner home here in the 4th at the Valley. Link the Leopard by a length and a half. Second home is Piccadilly Pearl. Catesville may have been third, just ahead of Windcrest.
Link the Leopard, an easy winner of the Windy Hill Handicap. That was John Russell's call. And for anybody who happens to pop a little bit when pronouncing P's, John had a ripper there, Piccadilly Pearl. And he was popping with gay abandon over the last 200 metres. Now, Aquatic has moved up into line, and the starter's just about set to release the field in race 4. The Dulcify Quality Bahrain Trophy, 2,000 metres, and they face squarely, and they're off and running now. And Zephyr Crown didn't begin well. He's a clear last out of the barrier. Oakwood bounced out in front of Quartet and Flying Aces, followed by Brinny, and Outgun was well away. Sakana jumped well, but is trapped out pretty deep in the early part, followed by Back Home, and then Southern Express, Shipwreck and Little Miracles. Zephyr Crown is second last, and Aquatic is last in the run to the mile crossing, and Flying Aces kicked away in front now with plenty of pace on, inclined to go fiercely. Flying Aces, led by 2 lengths or more to Brinny, who arches the neck in second place, a length away to Outgun, followed by Quartet and then Oakwood and Sakana. A length and a half further back is Back Home on the inside of Southern Express, a gap to Shipwreck, followed by Zephyr Crown. Well back is Little Miracles, and a half length away last is Aquatic as they go down the back, and Flying Aces carting them along at a good speed, led by 2.5 lengths on Brinny, nearly a length to Outgun in the box seat, followed by Oakwood and Quartet, and then Sakana, Back Home and Southern Express, followed by Shipwreck, Zephyr Crown. Little Miracles being second last, and Aquatic on the inside as last as they round that top turn. And to the crossing at the 800 now, Flying Aces the leader. Brinny is gradually getting to it. In third place is Outgun, followed by Oakwood, Quartet, and Sakana makes a line of 3. They're starting to pack up tightly now. Southern Express midfield on the outside of Back Home, and then Shipwreck and Zephyr Crown. Little Miracles and Aquatic are back at the tail as they race to the 600 mark and nearing the turn. Flying Aces is almost almost joined by Brinny, who's travelled beautifully from the outset. Outgun in third place, and then Quartet coming into it, followed by Oakwood, and Sakana is carted about 5 deep on the home turn. Into the straight now, and Brinny on the outside is level with Flying Aces. Quartet on the outside. There's a split in the centre for Oakwood, who's joining in, and further out is Sakana as they top the rise, and Sakana sprinting quickly. It reached the lead from Oakwood and Brinny, and then Quartet and Shipwreck, but Sakana clear halfway down the straight. One danger, if any. Shipwreck is coming after Sakana. Sakana still in front. Shipwreck is getting to it. Shipwreck is coming home the better. Sakana and Shipwreck, they hit the line together. Sakana kicked again, heads up, heads down. Sakana maybe a nose to Shipwreck, and they got right away from the others. Probably Oakwood third in front of Brinny, Zephyr Crown. Then Quartet and Aquatic Southern Express back home, followed by Flying Aces, Little Miracles, and Outgun disappointing, pulled up with the tail enders. Oh gee, they're out of stride, these two horses. Heads up, heads down, and whichever one gets the bob of the heads will get the judge's pat. If it goes to Sakana, and he deserves to win because he was forced to cover a heap of extra ground in the race, $2.25 and 80. If it goes to Shipwreck, number 6, it would pay $3.45 and $1.25. Pretty hard to tell on this particular replay angle. Kenny Russell throwing everything but his underpants at Sakana. Shipwreck has the Cerise blinkers on the outside. Looked, was going to win 4 times, Shipwreck. Now watch these heads, one up and one down, and I just had the feeling Sakana's head had come down right on the line. Ken, if it has, he'll probably get it.
Johnny was going to win beyond all doubt by about a half head, and I reckon 1 to 2 strides before the line he's dipped. If you watch it very closely, you should see it at this angle. I still think he's probably won, but if he hasn't, it's certainly cost him victory. That's Sakana in front, it's Shipwreck in the Cerise colours, pinky looking colours, and the Cerise blinkers on, charging at him. Now, watch Sakana with his neck stretched out, just when they get near the line. See, just dipped there, took one bad stride. But Sakana's won. Number 1, Sakana has won in a thrilling photo finish. As John said, he just gets the head down right. Shipwreck is second and Oakwood third. 165 official, Johnny, you called it right.
1, 6 and 5, Oakwood third. He too had a perfect run in the race, looked likely to be in the finish, but I don't know that he's all that ambitious, Oakwood. Sakana to pay $2.25 and 80. Shipwreck on the place tote will pay $1.25, and third money will go to Oakwood, and he'll pay $1.85. Righto, we've got the ball rolling, but Kenny's tip is coming up, and it's Wonder Dancer in the George Main Stakes. TAB number 8 from Ken Callender. And coming up, we talk to David Hislop, preparing to compete in the survival of the fittest.